Okay, so the Captain Marvel controversy has really just kind of taken over the internet over the course of the past couple weeks, it feels like. At this point, it does kind of feel like it's dying down. The movie is out, people have seen it, thoughts are out there, and now the battle for the box office continues. And of course, the movie is on track to do maybe $1 billion, although I'm hearing some rumblings that it may not be doing very well in China, but that is something we'll be talking about at a later date. So in order to kind of get around the negative controversy surrounding Captain Marvel, Disney decided to suddenly drop, and I mean this literally, unexpectedly drop the Avengers Endgame trailer. They did the same thing with the Frozen 2 teaser when the very first teaser for Aladdin came out that showed Will Smith as the genie, and it looked bad. They were like, we need to distract, we need to distract, we need to distract, here's Frozen 2. That's what they did. That's exactly why they did it. But that being said, we got ourselves this fantastic trailer leading into the culmination of the past 11 years and just 6 weeks. I'm so ready. I'm so ready to climax. If this was tantric sex, I'd be at the end of like Sting's 10-year orgasm. Like, just let it go. Just let it build up and release. But that being said, let's take a look here at some of the screenshots I pulled for this particular breakdown. So this shot here I like because some people were asking if this was Hawkeye training Kate Bishop. It's not. It's his kid. I don't know her name. But we can see here that you've got him with his daughter, who is also adept at a bow and arrow. We see his 2 sons in the back, and we see Linda Cardinelli's character at a picnic table and their house in the distance. This is obviously before the snap. This is pre-snap, before he goes all Ronin. It's a nice shot. It's actually a very, very, very pretty shot, which I think is going to be a very somber moment in the movie because we know what's going to happen. And Clint got a lot more center stage in Avengers Age of Ultron, and we got a lot more about his family, and I liked that quite a bit. So I hope we get a bit more of that here. But this, of course, is him after the Sokovia Agreement and his deal with the United States government. He is retired to the farm where he is now training his daughter. We have this next shot here of Scarlett Johansson in Japan, and she's tracking down Ronin, right? She's tracking him down. This is a kind of a shot that we saw from the first trailer. But one of the things I noticed, her hair. Her hair is a very interesting character in the trailer because it also showcases the length of time that's passed. We see her reach out and hold his hand, reminding him of where he came from, reminding Clint of who he is. Because apparently, when he's out fighting the Yakuza, he is just a bloodthirsty monster. But post-snap, the whole world is on as off its tilt. It's on its axis. We don't know what's going on. We don't know anything. So that's what we get out of him. But again, going back to her hair, look at the shot here. This is her talking to Captain in the beginning of the trailer. We can see that she's got her blonde highlights that have grown out with her natural red hair. Of course, this indicates that it's been about a year, I would argue, since about maybe a year or so since the snap. We can look at the average hair growth of about 1 inch per month. That looks to be maybe a foot, if not a little bit longer. So we're looking at least 12 months post snap. That's just a theory that I'm running with here, because we also get to see him, Captain America, clean shaven. And this is what we saw in the first trailer. So indicating that he had shaved his beard that he had grown while on the run from the government that we saw in Infinity War. Then we get this one shot here of Scott Lang clearly coming out of the quantum realm and discovering what had happened. Now look at the overgrowth on the house, on the yard. Everything looks old, indicating it's been a while. Trash has piled up. No trash is coming. It kind of reminded me of the opening episode, the premiere pilot episode of The Walking Dead, when Rick first wakes up and he's walking through the city and realizing that it's empty. You know, there's no one here. He doesn't know what's going on. And Scott then discovering that people are missing and trying to find people. And of course, you know, he's alone. Then we see the shot here of Ronin and Black Widow, and her hair again is about the same length it was when we saw the shot from before, and they're clearly on a Quinjet somewhere, getting ready to go and do something. I don't know what it is, but it looks like this could also be a submarine. Just looking at the ladder that's right there, as well as the circular style of the set, it could be a Quinjet, or some kind of massive ship. I have no idea yet, but they're clearly going to do something. We just don't know what that is. We got this one shot here of Rocket, and of course War Machine. And I love that Rocket's just riding War Machine. Like Rocket will just do whatever. Like he doesn't care, get the job done. But we get to see he's also got what appears to be a manufactured weapon that he put together, and he's wearing a new outfit with more of a red and black motif, which is again something kind of what we saw with Ant-Man. That kind of motif also with the color scheme from the beginning of the trailer, showing things in black and white, but really highlighting red. Red is a very, very, very present color in this trailer. Obviously, red meaning anger, blood, revenge, right? Avenge, so to speak. And of course, War Machine looking badass as usual, because it's War Machine. We got this one shot here of Ant-Man in his costume. And this one also appeared in the original trailer with a certain addition that there was what appeared to be fire and flame. You see it very briefly in this, indicating that when they're in Avengers, home base in upstate New York, that is going to be attacked by something. Because I think that's what leads into this shot right here. Whatever this might be, of seeing Nebula looking very pissed off, which is obviously par for the course, and her fighting something or someone, but there's all this wreckage, all this stuff scattered around. It's not Titan. It's clearly not Titan, but it appears to me like this might be the Avengers Headquarters coming off of the fight, or at least one part of it or something. We see the shot here of Captain America also gritting his teeth going into battle. This could be against Thanos, wherever they are fighting Thanos. But even going back here, seeing Thanos and like the wheat field stuff that we saw from that original trailer, this doesn't look like it's the same place. But it could be another planet. It could be Earth. It could be the Avengers Headquarters. We don't know. We got the shot here of Ant-Man going into tiny mode. We can see that there is water. And then on an alternate shot, we see that there's like a pencil and a headphone jack, which leads me to believe that it is back here in this particular place. With that gets blown up, he goes into his Ant-Man mode, goes tiny, and then gets away from there. But then we got this final shot in the trailer, at least leading up to the final shot. And we see that they are in what appears to be, spacesuits. I thought it was spacesuits at first, like they're going to travel into space and go and find Thanos that way. We see Ant-Man here, but it's, Hawkeye, Nebula. But we also see that they're wearing the same kind of suits, the same kind of material that Ant-Man uses, that it would protect him in the quantum realm. Even going back just a couple, we can see the red pattern. It's a little bit different of a suit, but it's still very similar. We got the shot here of what appears to be Black Widow, Nebula, and Tony Stark. But even going back, like this shot here, who's the person behind Scarlett Johansson, right? Because we see that it's probably going to be Captain here on the right, then Tony Stark, then then Black Widow, then Nebula, and it could be that is right there. Behind her would be Ant-Man, and probably is. But it just doesn't look like Paul Rudd, his hair and his ear, because his hair is more flared up. That hair is more down. That could be, I don't think it's Mark Ruffalo. For some reason, I don't know. It's probably going to be Ant-Man, but I might be overthinking it. Then, of course, we see Hawkeye there, and back again to Captain. Leading the way. And that takes us to like basically the end of the trailer, with the exception of Captain Marvel popping up. Now, this to me was probably the most interesting part of the trailer, because after the controversy that's coming off of Captain Marvel, they very much want to play up Brie Larson being in this movie, but it's her timing in the film that is going to be very telling about how much time is spent there. So what we see here is she's meeting Thor, turns around, back arched, looking back at who he is. And then, he calls for Stormbreaker, and it shows up. Although, that kind of looks like it could be, no, it's Stormbreaker. And then she looks at him, and then she kind of winces and smiles, and he's like, oh, I like her. Right. Obviously, but take a look at this here. She's got red lipstick on. She's got smoky eyeliner, and she's got blush. Now, I made a comment about this on Twitter about like, why is she dressed up? I mean, look at her hair is very well done. She's very composed. It looks like she could be going out for a night on the town. When in the Captain Marvel stinger, which is, there's a spoiler, by the way, we get a scene with her first meeting the Avengers when they find Nick Fury's pager and who it's paging. And then she goes and shows up, but she looks like disheveled. She looks like she's been rolling around in space for a while, kind of dirty. I'm assuming here she got a shower and maybe decided to like reintegrate herself to the human expectation of what she believes people might think she needs to look like. But she's also definitely, you know, rocking the pants, but not rocking her top. Here's the most key factor here is look at Black Widow's hair. It is short and it's bleach blonde. It is very much how it was in Infinity War, meaning this takes place right after Infinity War. This particular scene, when we meet Captain Marvel in Endgame, this is the very beginning of Infinity War. So if I had to guess, if I had to speculate on where I believe that ultimately the movie's going to take place, or what Captain Marvel's going to be doing, I would say that at the very beginning of the movie, they're going to be trying to figure out what's going on. They're going to be trying to figure out how many people are gone and putting it all together. She's going to show up because they find the pager. And then they're going to say, listen, we have friends that are somewhere out there, and she's going to fly off into space and bring Nebula and Tony back to Earth. Because as we saw right here, they're both back on Earth, and everyone's gearing up to go into the quantum realm. So that's going to be, you know, where things are going at. But we see that Tony Stark and Nebula are there. Clearly, someone finds them and someone returns them to Earth, which in this case would be Captain Marvel. So that's what I think is going to happen there. Half of her journey is going to be going out, finding them, bringing them back in order to then take the fight to Thanos or wherever it may take them. You know, wherever it may take them. But I'm pretty sure the final fight, now that I think more about it, with Nebula and Captain America, that's probably going to be fighting Thanos. It'll be very interesting to see what happens with it. Obviously, the trailer was fantastic. The music was great. The setup was amazing. I'm looking forward to seeing how the world copes with half the population being gone, how people are going to be dealing with that. I feel like that particular approach to it, treating it more like a post-apocalyptic, at least in the beginning aspects of it, is going to be very fascinating. And for some reason, I'm the most excited to see that world play out. And of course, how they go about trying to fix it, because this is the final Avengers movie with these characters. And whatever happens with it is going to be magnificent and amazing and awesome and wonderful and sad and very sad. And I'm probably going to end up tearing up multiple times in the movie. But it's a cry that's going to be somewhat cathartic, and I'm ready to do it. But what about you? Your thoughts, your opinions? Let me know down in the comments below. I'll talk to you guys later. Have yourself a great day, and peace out.